Right, so yeah, me and Mark, we're gonna give you our thoughts on day two at Cheltenham now. We start with well, it's not the Ballymore anymore, is it? It's Turner's Novice Hurdle, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts here then, Mark?
Ah, I've backed Final Demand in the double. I put off. I love him. He's got serious rivals, serious rivals. The New Lion, the Yellow Clay, Potter's Charm, James's Gate, and they're all serious rivals. They are a worry. But and I loved the New Lion when he won as well. I do respect them all. I just love Final Demand. I thought he was incredibly professional at Limerick, and he could do no more than he did at the Dublin Racing Festival. I know he's short, he's 64. I wouldn't back him at 64. I put him up in the double at 5-2 because I felt like Colpick was going to get shorter. And I felt he may get shorter than he has because of Kawabunga coming out. But I just love his professionalism. I like the way he does everything. Everything Town and asks him to do, he does. And if he wins for me, he wins. I think he's a top class horse. He could be in against something that's very special, like the New Lion or the Yellow Clay, maybe even Potter's Charm or James's Gate. But I do love this horse, and I will be with him. I wouldn't back him at the price he is now. I think he'll get better on the day. He could even drift to 5-2 or so on the day. But I do like this horse, and I will be with him in this race.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I think I'm with you there. Yeah, same. I liked him at Limerick. He looked like he had plenty of speed and gears there. Uh, Dublin. I love how he just buried him down inside for such an inexperienced horse. You know, he's got a lot of faith in the horse. Like you say, he's professional. Um, he, I just, I, I do worry about the new Lions. You know, he's really got that gear, hasn't he? You know, he's got a lot of speed, and you just wonder a little bit: is he going to do him like for a bit of toe at the end? But the only thing I didn't like about the new Lion was that he seemed to be trained to peak for the Challow to get that sale. I mean, Dan's good; he can get him to peak again, I guess. But I didn't like that, and I just wonder about the hill as well a little bit. You know, he's run before, maybe he were a bit short there, but I remember you saying as well at the time, you know, he got there easy, but then he didn't really finish out the last sort of half furlong and how you thought he were going to like. But he's a big contender for sure. Um, Personally, I'm not too bothered with the Potter's Charm. The Yellow Clay, yeah, he's done nothing wrong, has he? But I don't think he's as good as Final Demand like, and he,
No, I
you
don't
know,
either.
so I think, yeah, I mean, I'm probably not saying out let the market don't tell you. I think the favourites want to be. I'd fear the new Lion. And yeah, if we're good to get like an outsider like James's Gate, I think we both like him.
Yeah, I fear him. They're nowhere near the bottom of him yet. He's he's one I wish was in the handicap. It's hard to say you'd have him in the without market. I think I might actually have him in the without market because I think he'd be quite a big price. And
Yeah,
he's done. He's absolutely cruised all his races. I do like him. I fear him. I do fear him. But I fear the new lion as well. But I think this is a right good race. It's just everything about Final Demand I like, but apart from the price, I don't like that. But I mean, can you imagine if he was 72? You'd be you'd be raiding the bank account. You know, you'd be taking the kids' piggy bank at 72. It's 64. He can't be having 64, you know?
yeah, fair, yeah. yeah, I think the same. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're both with favourite there, and yeah. So what we on next? The Browns.
Round two.
Ballyburn, is he a good thing, mate?
I think it's a deep race, but I do think he's looking like fuck to fail looked last year, isn't he? I can't decide if 74 is a decent price. The one I'm going off more and more is Dancing City. I'm starting to like him less and less. I think he's going to need deep ground to win this. I think I'd rather Gordon's two than Dancing City. I'd rather be on Better Days Ahead or Crook Park than Dancing City for some reason. I'm not. I've gone right off Dancing City. I think Bioluminescence let the form down a little bit. I get the feeling he's going to be one of these horses that's going to need really deep ground to win this. I don't think he can win on good to soft or so.
And
I
you'd
think,
worry about his one at Cheltenham there last year, wouldn't you, as well? Do you know? I
yeah,
mean, if he did get his ground, he's got a fair bit of ground to make up on Stella Story there, aren't he? If they both run like that.
yeah, yeah. They got away from him quite badly, Jukebox Man, stellar story there. I don't know. He's never really a horse I've been in love with, Dancing City, and I couldn't have him. He'll be the one that win now, but I can't have him. I would have Better Days Ahead over him. Um, yeah, you wonder about the others. You've got Key de Bourbon as well. I thought he was better last time out, but he seems to have been a bit forgotten about, doesn't he? Key de
Yeah,
Bourbon.
I think even Willie's forgot his in yard. I think he's not said anything about it. He keeps saying we got three horses for Browns or whatever. He never gets a mention. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, right, you know, we were just saying our thoughts here, aren't we? I mean, there'll be people sat there thinking Dancing City is a good thing and that, and just for context, last year I sat here. I know you liked him, but I said I couldn't back Gaelic Warrior at 10-1. And he smashed them in Arkle. So don't be getting upset if we don't like your horses. But I'd be the same with Dancing City. I think I love Croke Park. I think if he runs it, I think his jumping will take him into the top three.
Yeah,
Um,
his jumping's superb.
yeah, it's insane, isn't it? Um,
Yeah.
but I don't really fancy him to win it, if I'm being honest. But I could see him placing. Better days ahead. I can't quite make my mind up about his last run. You know, maybe Gordon's right. Maybe he needs something to chase, like rather than being in front. But I think he's certain to run a big race. But I mean, I've heard Henry's horse mentioned a little bit as an outsider. Gorgeous Tom, and you look at that Drinmore form. If he got his ground,
Yeah.
I do remember last year at Punchestown, there were two horses that I thought these are ones for handicaps down the line. One were back to normal and one were gorgeous Tom. Back to normal did what he did. I don't know if he's quite up to this, but he's unexposed, isn't he? Like, and that Drinmore
Yeah,
run good.
yeah. This is quite a hard race, I think.
Mm,
I mean, if someone nailed me down, I would take Ballyburn just because he's got that class. But I mean, you look at the novice hurdles last season; they were absolutely atrocious. The Supreme and the Turners last season, like the horses behind Ballyburn last season, were not good, and the Supreme nothing's won out of that this season.
no,
Um, Slade Steel, uh, Mystical Power, Tally Hill. They've not done nothing really. But Ballyburn does seem to have that. He was well ahead of the others last season. I think he has got that class. He's been judged a lot on that run against Regina too, and that's a bit unfair because he didn't like the track. and Sergino was just a far faster horse than him, and he made him look like a poor jumper, where he really wasn't that bad until the last. It was just that Sergino was so good
Yeah,
that I think he made him look clumsy and slow. The gun to the head, I would take Polly Byrne, but I wouldn't be financial. No way would I be telling someone else to back Polly Byrne. I
yeah.
wouldn't, but I wouldn't. If someone said I have to name the winner, I'd take Polly Byrne, but I wouldn't be betting on
What would you have anyway like a firm opinion without Ballyburn, like who your sort of value alternative would be like, you know?
it.
I feel the
Not
same way.
really. Yeah, not really. I mean, I think Croke Park's getting a bad deal. I mean, he's won two Grade Ones this season, and he stayed ahead of. He beat Better Days ahead in a close
Yeah,
finish. Yeah, and and it's just Ballyburn's class that beat him last time. But he was taking lengths out of Ballyburn at some of the fences
yeah,
down the bar. He was just like you'd see them come fence next minute, Croke Park be 2 lengths ahead again, and it's like. Yeah. I don't know. I would definitely have no bet in this. I couldn't find a bet in this because, yeah, I mean, take Ballyburn out, this would be a great race. You could
yeah,
have a right tilt at and then that like he's there and he sort of puts you off because you know how classy he is. He's he's probably going to win, I think.
yeah.
But do you think you're going to get beat?
Honestly, I don't know. Like I can't decide if he's a good thing or not, and I change my mind sort of day to day with him. I can,
Because you've got good tickets apart from him.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll have something on him, I guess, because I've pretty much got the race sewn up without him, you know. Probably just have a small bit on Gorgeous Tom, and then
Do you have Dancing City?
no, actually, I'll leave him. I'm going to leave him out. I'm happy to be against him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am. And I think I don't know what price is now, around about 372. I think you'll get bigger on the day for him. I think he'll be
Yeah.
more like fives, maybe. Um,
You're right, though. People are going to be watching this going, fancying Dancing City and on at tens and raging at us. But I, I, I don't fancy him for some reason. And he's done nothing wrong. And
no,
he's
no,
jumped really well. But I just don't fancy him.
yeah, I'd be the same way. I can't quite decide if he's a nailed on good thing or not, Ballyburn. I don't know. I, I might do, you know, I might get close to the time and just think, yeah, this is a good thing. I've had a few like little bets running onto him to try and cover myself in that way. Do you know, like
Mhm.
I think I did Copec the Boards, Marchburn and Ballyburn, you know, just to try and get
Mhm.
something onto him that way. I think I did one with Final Demand as well. Um, yeah, it's I can't quite bring myself to say he's a good thing, but I did like what he did from the back of the last, and
Yes.
you know, you'd think the extra trip would suit him here. He could be different class to these. He could be, and you know, he could be Galloping's big sort of rival next
Mhm.
year. Like you know, he'll be like the Factor File next year. Like you know, but yeah. So I think we both like Ballyburn. Think he's but couldn't really sort of get stuck in at sort of
Oh no 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 no
four
no
seven
no
to
no
four.
no
And
no! I couldn't be going. I couldn't be going flying in.
no, and
No
I
no
think
piggy bank on that one. No.
it's it's a race you can like have a little pop at some at a nicer price in it that you know.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe better days ahead. You know, I think he's around about 8 to 1. Yeah, maybe him, maybe.
The race lost its appeal for me when the jukebox one came out. Loved him.
Yeah,
Loved him.
yeah,
Um, his jumping was absolutely unbelievable. I thought the day him and Sergino both ran, they were, or the day after, I can't remember, but they were just, their jumping was just what I thought perfect jumper jumps like, you know. And
Yeah,
losing him's a bit of a shame because I think he would have had a right chance.
yeah, I'd echo that. Yeah, I'd say the same. Um, what's the next big race then? Um, that be the champion chase?
Mm.
We've shuffled these races about a little bit, haven't we? Yeah, we'll do the other races at the end again. So we've got a couple handicaps, and then the big race is at 4 o'clock, isn't it? So yeah, champion chase then is John Bon a good thing?
No, not for me. I'm not having him at all. I don't. I like everyone talks about horses for courses. I have been convinced all season. I know you backed them as well. Uh, I can't get the Arkle out in my head, and people saying the Arkle form of rubbish is. I don't know where to get it from. But I'm noticing this massive drift in Gaelic Warrior, which is worrying on Betfair. But I'll give you my case for him. I think he hates Leopardstown. I think he hates Leopardstown's fences, which are really stiff and big. And then when he went to Cheltenham, I think the fence has been a little bit easier and probably not as big. I think he just loved that. And he just romped that Arkle. And when you look at that Arkle, he beat Founder 50. Now, Founder 51 graded races earlier in the season. He beat Soul in this easy. Well, he looked like he was going to win easy and didn't in the end, but he should have. And Founder 50, he trounced Founder 50. He absolutely. And people saying, yeah, maybe he does need heavy, soft ground. I just can't get it out of my mind. Now, I know I did watch the race back again, and I was watching the speed of the race, and it was slow. And perhaps that was why he's getting trouble at Leopardstown because they went so fast at 34, 35 mile an hour, where he was only going about 28 mile an hour in the Arkle. But that was obviously because they needed to get home and soft ground. I don't know. All season, I've, I've been with him, and I might as well, you know, fall on my sword with him. I do like him, and he'd be my horse. He has been all season, and I'm not going away from him now. His best form's at Cheltenham. I think that's where he runs best. I don't know why they've run him at Leopardstown this season. They know he hates it. He ran poorly last season. I mean, how could you back him last season after that run against Back to Fire? And yet he's gone to Cheltenham and bolted it. If he goes there, he'll be my bet.
does
I've been backing him all season in doubles with other horses that have been winning on the day. I've got a lot of money running on him. But this drift on Betfair, I don't know if he's even going to run. And it's not just for the Champion Chase, it's for the Ryanair as well. Like we're doing this on, what is it, March the 1st. But if he runs in the Champion Chase, he'll be carrying my money. And I hope I get a better price.
will Paul be on him?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think, like, you look at the form of Energumene, yes, he's been beaten in that race at Ascot twice and won the Champion Chase. But I think, like, I go on horses for courses a little bit. And the way he won that Arkle, I know Paul's won two Champion Chases on Energumene, but they fell apart. He beat nothing, and he's 11-year-old. I'm very biased, Steve. I've got to be careful what I say because I'm going to push people into backing Gaelic Warrior that probably don't want to be on him. And the people are probably going, Gaelic Warrior can't win. Yeah, well, fair enough. Like, I've taken a view right from the start of the season. I fancy Gaelic Warrior and I'm going to stick with him. And I can't get off him now. And if someone said to me now, take Gaelic Warrior out the race, then I wouldn't have a bet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's all in for me, Gaelic Warrior. 7-1. I'll have to admit, I was really disappointed after he got beat last time. I didn't get better in 7-1. I always hope for more. But possibly the worry is this drift on Betfair for both races is something not right with him.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if he runs, and everyone slagged me off last season, I didn't put much on him. He was in a double with Coco Beach. He didn't run, but I was convinced he would win that Arkle. And I am absolutely will not go off him. If he runs in the champion chase, he'll carry my money and I'll be confident.
So, well, yeah, I won't say much about Gaelic Warrior then, but just to say I'm also on the Gaelic Warrior train, like, from early season. Um, yeah, I won't add much more about him, but I'd be with him too if he turns up. I think the softer the ground, the better. I wouldn't be certain Paul would be on him. I'm just not sure. I think the way sort of Willie and Paul look at these horses, it's like the champions are the champions until they're not
Yeah.
anymore. And so I'm not quite sure with that. Just like the way he'd be riding maybe State Man instead of Lossiemouth. Maybe I don't know,
Mm.
but yeah, I'm with him. John Bon. I just think I just wonder with John Bon. I know it's the Cheltenham thing, but I wonder if it's more the pace thing. I wonder if he likes to kind of bully horses and control a race kind of thing. I do think he's improved for Nico. Them two just get on really well, and he's a bit more aggressive on him, isn't he? But I don't know if they're going really fast. I don't know if he maybe gets out of rhythm or something, and maybe that's why his disappointing runs have come like at Cheltenham. Um, maybe I do talk a lot of rubbish, but every now and then I don't know if there's. Yeah, I do wonder if he likes to bully horses a little bit. So I'd be against John Bon, and even if Gaelic Warrior doesn't line up, I think I'll be looking to get him beat. I'm not quite sure what with. I've
Mm.
started to come round a little bit with Solness. You've got two runs both at Leopardstown there, and it's not tested anywhere else beyond that. But if the ground came up decent, I might be tempted to take a little chance on Solness, maybe
Mm.
if Gaelic Warrior's not there. Um, Enighamine, I was slow to come round to him, but I think he were a proper horse, but he's 11 now, and I just can't have him at that age. I do have a few rules I don't like to break, and 10-year-olds or older in championship races. And I know I did some stats last year. I did like a little video last year. I think they were like
Yeah.
280 odd or something. It's very rare, isn't it? So,
I have to
yeah,
say that video was really good last season. Actually, I really liked it.
yeah,
That one because you had a lot of things in it. Like the Bromheads horses came right back to farm. They did really well. Yeah, I liked that video last season. Actually, I watched that. I have to say, I probably wouldn't bet in this race if Gaelic Warrior doesn't run, but I would. I would not have a cent on John Bond. If someone gave me a free bet, I would say, no, you're okay. I just couldn't buck him. I don't know why. It's just a horse I've never really come round to, and I could not buck him in the champion chase at that price. I could not buck him.
no,
Whether he wins or not, and he could prove me wrong, he could win 10 wins. Funny thing is, I watched Cheltenham back. I always watch Cheltenham back a lot, but Solness was out the back of the telly in the Grand Army last year.
yeah, yeah. I
So he's
mean,
made enormous improvement.
yeah, yeah. He's mad. I can't quite get my head around that horse, but I think he'd need the ground to be decent. I don't think
Yeah.
he'd, if you're looking at sort of good to soft and on the good side of good to soft, yeah, I could see it then. I think if there's any soft in the ground, I don't think I'd entertain him really. But
Well, I'll
yeah,
tell you one horse now. This is a wild outsider. Worst campaigned horse in Willie Mullins' yard, and there's a few, but he's the worst campaigned ever. Blood Destiny is a blatant 2 miler. Why he's running over 2 mile 5, going right handed. I think that Thurl was a Clonmel last time. It was nuts. This horse has got really good form with Balance Tower and really good horses. If Willie could just take him, put Danny Mallins on, and let him run out, let Danny just ride him 50 to 1, I'd back him. I would really back him if he
yeah.
ran in the champion chase. Yeah, I think I'd love him to run the champion chase. He's crazy price, 50s or 80s.
Was he
I'll,
down to run today or anything, or was he not declared, or was? I don't know. I saw him in the entries recently somewhere for 2 mile, and
He might
I
have been
don't,
in the flying boat. I don't think he's in it now, but
you know,
he was supposed to run a week ago as well. He is honestly the worst campaigned horse in the world. Like, honestly, you look at his form last season over 2 miles, and he should have been running in the Arc. He didn't. And then he ran over 2 mile four against Swans Tower, and Swans Tower outstayed him, which is obvious. Uh, honestly, if this horse ran, I would buck him. I would buck him each way. Big
yeah,
price.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely buck him. I
I
would.
smile every time I see him because I think you're bang right about him. He's like everybody. He's clearly a 2 miler, isn't he? And yeah, I think my outside would probably be if he lined up, found a 50 at a mad
Yeah,
price.
I quite like him as well. He's a bit underestimated.
But
And that's what I mean about Gaelic Warrior. He just thrashed him last season. And he was a good horse. But
yeah,
yeah. But yeah, if Willie's watching, which he won't be, but if he is, get Blood Destiny in the champion chase. Danny Mallon's on, and we'll see how he goes.
yeah,
He'll
I
tell you
don't
my
mind
touch.
that. It's we've had some surprises in this race, haven't we, over the last few years? And yeah, he's not a bad shout at sort of wild price. So then, right, well, that's like all the big races, isn't it, on Wednesday now? Coral Cup. Have you had a look at this at all?
Yeah, yeah, Coral Cap's tough. The more I did talk in my video about be aware, the more I think about him, the more I'm thinking no to be aware. He, I look at his races and think he should have won more than he has, which I'm worried he's a bit of a dodge pot that he runs really well until he gets to the business end and then he doesn't go by. But when you look at Langer Down, he was a staying 2 mile four horse. Whereas I'm worried Be Aware might be a bit of a speedy 2 mile four horse and might not get home against something that might outstay him because he looks more like a 2 miler going up to 2 mile four rather than a sort of staying horse. I'm starting to go off Be Aware a little bit. I don't think that hot pot magic horse is going to run here. I looked at Henderson's horse, Imposed Trois. A lot of people saying that Jericho the Reputation should go in this. I'm not sure. I don't really have a big opinion on this one, if I'm honest. It's always a good race. I have a little bit of a system for this race, but I don't really want to say what it is because I always get a good price on the horse that always runs well.
Yeah, nice. Um,
Uh, but yeah, I don't have a big opinion on the Coral Cap. What about you?
well, yeah, I think Be Aware has got a good each way chance. Like, he'd be one, you know, talk about this another time. We're on less than 10 minutes now on this timer thing, but I do think there's at Cheltenham this year, there seems to me a lot of horses that you think this is like nailed on to be like top five or so in a race, like in an handicap.
Yeah,
And I don't mind perming a few of those together in like little accumulators and stuff. You can really mount the play spot up in them. He'd look a fair one for that. I thought it was interesting. There's a horse that really caught my eye last time it ran, Raglan Road. I think he's been set up for something that was very eye-catching, and he's not entered here. But I find it interesting. He's not entered here, but he's entered for the Pipe and the County, which I'd have thought this would have been maybe the better sort of race of the three for him. He may not
hmm
run at all at Cheltenham, but I just thought that was interesting, and maybe it suggests like JP's boys think they've got this race, and I like the look of Nicky's horse, I think, and I like Comfort Zone as well. I think they can
yeah,
be two big runners here for JP, and I had a little bit on Comfort Zone yesterday. I think he's around sort of 20s. He's starting to
is
get
he
nibbled away a little bit, but
is he O'Brien's?
yeah, he's. and just generally looking at these handicaps, I think Gavin and Joseph have got a lot of good chances. I'd be kind of half surprised if they don't take three or four of these handicaps out
Yeah.
between them.
The
And
ones that JP lines up for these handicaps are always close. But if they're not winning, they're always close. They're
yeah,
never far away.
comfort zones of horse have always kind of followed a little. And I think since he ran against Lossiemouth as a juvenile and he stayed on really strong that day at 2 mile. And then I think he went across and won a race at maybe Chepstow or somewhere like that. And then he won a race at Cheltenham and he was going to run in the Triumph. And he picked up an eagle or something, didn't he? I missed a bit of time. I think he'd have maybe been second to Lossiemouth that day. But he's one from one at the track. And
Yeah.
you just never quite know the day with these horses, the way Joseph trains them. I was looking through his form last night and, he ran well last time, but I noticed on the flat I think he ran in Irish Cesarovic. He ran a fair race there. And then the next race, he were there, it was like an 80 odd euro race, 80 odd thousand, 4-1 favourite. And he won, and he won well. He won easy, So he's a good target trainer, isn't he? If this is the race that he's sort of put a big red ring around this year, I think he'll run well, comfort zone. I'd say he's a fair each way, but yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. What do you think? Has he got any chance, mate?
Oh, I think every horse that Joseph O'Brien runs this festival is going to have a decent chance,
Yeah,
especially in the handicaps. So, like I've looked at a lot of them. Bustleton, this thing, Lark in the morning. I think they're all going to have decent
yeah,
chance. I think he's lined them all up. I think he's and the one he's going to have one in the Boodles or two in the Boodles. I think he's going to have a winner or two at the festival.
yeah,
Nailing which ones is difficult, but I think he's going to have a winner
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I mean, for people that don't really want to get right into it, if the handicaps just back, I think if you could follow Joseph and Gavin, I think they're going to have a few winners there. And yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely.
Well, people are starting to cotton on to Cromwell a little bit now, but I think Joseph's ones might be a little bit better priced. But Gavin Cromwell's record at Cheltenham's frightening, so he's going to be getting. They're going to start to get a bit more than they used to.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Right, Jesus, one less than 5 minutes, Mark. I know you like the cross country a little bit.
Well, yeah, I don't like the Grand Annual. I've nothing in that. I don't know if you have. The
No,
bumper's been an absolute car crash for me this season. I'm absolutely it's wiped me out this season. I've done really badly. Normally do okay. Poorly this season. I did like Bastleton for the cross country, but then I watched back last season's race. I think he ran in the Ultima and he was out the telly, nowhere. So I'm wondering now. Tell you
ground,
the horse, I
ground.
thought,
Don't you like better ground though?
yeah, oh yeah. But the one that I thought got a good mark, I don't know if he's going to be ready for this. And I thought he'd blown his mark was Vanillier.
Yeah,
I, I think he might be a decent each way bet. But it could be that Stumptown's just really good at this, and I think he'll get a decent price in Stumptown on the day. I think he'll trade if
yeah,
he's top weight. So yeah, I'd have Cromwell's two there. I would have had Bustleton. I backed him at 25, so I'm not having him now at like 10-1 and less. I'm not interested there because he's going to have to improve a lot. But I wouldn't back him now, but I'd probably back Vanilla each way. What about you? You don't like really into the cross country?
no, I haven't really got a strong view. Yeah, I haven't really, to be fair. And the Grand Annual's the same, and I just don't. I mean, I might have at the time, but I just not. I've not gone through the race yet at all, and
You've got decent bets in the bumper, no?
The bumper,
on.
I've got a few. I've backed everything at some point this season in bumper. So I've got a few live tickets there, and my dad's got some record in this bumper. He likes Bambino Fever still, and I'm going to stay with that. That looked a really strong bumper beforehand.
Yeah, I
Uh,
like that race, and I think Jodie Townend's really underrated as well. So
yeah, yeah, she can ride fine in these bumpers. I think she'd be my 1 foot bumper, but it's not a race you could be really confident about, like But
well,
and I think she'll drift out as well. You may get nearly double figures on the day.
yeah, I think you will get double figures on her because they're going to back this to the recent winners, Coca Cabana and Game of Inches. And I think Gordon's horse might drift as well, but I've never been on board with him, Calypso's Chance. I've always been against him, and he's beaten the one off back. Yeah, bumpers had me stamped this season, but I did like the pipe horse. But as these Willie horses come out, you just start your sort of confidence drops because you know he's probably got the winner. So, but I did like that pipe horse, so the one that came from Ireland and run in that bumper. So I thought he was good.
Yeah, wind beneath my wings. It's a hard style to
But
pull off though. It's sort of prominent style, in that race. Um,
yeah,
no,
but I wouldn't have a best bet on Wednesday. I don't think. I can't really think of anything. What about you?
um, geez, I maybe go. I think at a sort of price, I'd say maybe comfort zone each way in the Cold Cup is
Yeah,
yeah. I think yeah. I mean, you get first 5, 6 on the day, or it might be one though. I mean, if it is his day, it might be better to get